All right, this video is going to walk you through another fallacy of presumption from Hurley 3.4. This is called a false dichotomy fallacy, and there's a bacon theme going on here on this opening slide. Here's a sign from a restaurant. It says, either you love bacon or you're wrong. Maybe that's a Ron Swanson approved restaurant. Give me all the bacon and eggs you have, especially the bacon. Right, so that's a dichotomy. Either you love bacon or you're wrong. But is that a true dichotomy? Can you not love bacon and be right? This is a deep debate, and want to be civil in our debates about things. So a false dichotomy fallacy, here's another example. You either love philosophy or you're not all that smart. Either you love philosophy or you're just not all that smart. How is that a false dichotomy? Right? Well, you could not love philosophy. You could just like it. And you could be brilliant, right? You could be really good at other areas of academic inquiry, or maybe you're just smart in other ways, but you just don't like philosophy in particular as a discipline. You either love reading philosophy or you're just a loser. So, really? I mean, I can't be a winner at life or as a human being, but not love reading philosophy. Look, philosophy reading is hard. If you ever pick up, Plato or Aristotle or, any African thinkers like Augustine or European thinkers like Edith Stein or whomever, their work is not easy, right? These thinkers are difficult. So you might not love reading philosophy, but you might not be a loser either. That's a false dichotomy. False dichotomy is a presumption fallacy. It's fallacy. It's committed when an argument contains an either-or statement that presents two alternatives as if there were no third possibility. Right? Here's some bumper stickers. You kind of see these, or memes. You see these. If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. Well, I could be paying attention and just not be outraged. That seems like it's possible, doesn't it? Are those the only two options? Not outraged and not paying attention? America. Love it or leave it. Those are your only options. You either love everything America does or you should get out. Can I love my country and not leave it? Can I leave it and still love it? Those seems like pretty obvious alternatives. So here's an example.
You're with us.
Here's an example that occurred in some time ago. This is a little old now, but it's just a classic example of a false dichotomy. Let me back it up. It might be a little hard to hear, but I'm just going to back this up a little bit so you can hear the whole thing. It's pretty short. All right, here we go.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
Okay, I think you got that. The claim was this: either you're with us or you're with the terrorists. So the question is kind of this: what does "with us" mean? Right? Does that mean you support everything that Bush's administration did in response to the 9/11 attacks? Or does "with us" mean you just simply oppose terrorism? Right? I mean, could you be a critic of, say, U.S. involvement in Afghanistan, something a little more recent, or a critic of the Iraq War, or a critic of American intervention anywhere outside the country, and still oppose terrorism? Right? Those two things seem like they could be equally possible. So if George W. Bush meant the first thing, then this claim is fallacious. Right? If he means that
either you are with us,
you support everything his administration does, then that means that this is clearly fallacious. If he means the second thing, this might not be a false dichotomy, right? He's either saying by with us, he means you oppose terrorism or you don't, right? In other words, not all dichotomies are false. Some are false, some are not. Here's an example of a non-false dichotomy. You are you are 6 feet tall or over 6 feet tall. Sorry, let me do this a little clearer here. You are either you are 6 foot or over, or under 6 feet tall. You're either 6 foot or over, or you're not 6 feet or over. Right? That's not a false dichotomy. Either your height is 6 foot and higher, or under 6 feet. That's not a false dichotomy. It's one or the other. There's no what third alternative is there? You're exactly 6 feet or taller, or you're under 6 feet. Is there a third option? No. So not all dichotomies are false. If George Bush meant that you either support terrorism or you don't support terrorism, that's not a false dichotomy. Claiming that you support everything I do or you are a terrorist, that's a false dichotomy, right? So it's fallacious if you support everything my administration does in response to 9/11 or you're a supporter of terrorism. That's fallacious when he says you're with us or you're with a terrorist. But if he just means you either support terrorism or you don't support terrorism, that's not a false dichotomy. Okay. I mean, there's two possible ways you could have not supported the war on terror, right? You could be a pacifist, right? Someone with the nutty idea that killing people is a bad thing, according to this meme. Or you could be an extreme militarist, right? You just say, the Bush administration, Obama's administration, Trump's administration, and Biden's administration, and whatever future administrations are coming down the road, all of those are too weak. We should have been extreme militarists, like made war on every country, including Canada, just because we can, right? And dominated the entire world, taken over the entire planet with America, right? Be an extreme militarist or a pacifist, right? Those are two ways you did not support the administration, but you're still opposed to terrorism. Pacifists are opposed to terrorism. Extreme militarists, unless you're assuming that is a terrorist view, are opposed to at least George W. Bush's. He's not with George W. Those people aren't with George W. Bush. All right, so just remember, false dichotomies occur, you go back to this definition, when an either or gives two alternatives as if there's no third possibility. The thing you have to remember, and I like to ask about these things on the quizzes, are exceptions. Sometimes there is no third possibility. And if there is actually no third possibility, there's no fallacy. Right? Remember that example I gave. Either you're 6 foot or higher, or you're under 6 feet tall. There's no other option. And I say, well, I'm so many meters tall. Okay, I'm not talking about the unit of measurement, right? Some dichotomies are false, some are not false. You just have to be careful in your thinking and critical in your thinking to figure out which is which, right? Make sure you read the Hurley section and take a look at the examples that he gives there as well. All right, thanks for your time. Keep thinking critically.